Hello again, wrestling fans, and welcome to year number 2 of the Scumbags of Wrestling Predictions League. We are right now in London, Ontario. It is 7 o'clock. We're an hour away from Smackdown WrestleMania or WrestleMania Smackdown, whatever they want to call it. Everything's getting branded Smackdown. And that also means we are just hours away from the Hall of Fame. It's all happening this weekend. WWE. You have also Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and so many more available. Tons of wrestling to get to. This weekend, we are going to look at just the 3 big events from WWE. I didn't want to overwhelm everybody with doing Impact and Ring of Honor as well. I think we're going to add that to this year's list of events, depending on what Tony Khan has in store for us. As you see, I'm wearing a special Bret the Hitman Hart jersey. Got it from the Calgary Hitman WHL. They had a special night for Bret Hart, and money was raised for, I believe, cancer research. So if you love this jersey, go check out the Calgary Hitman. Just want to get that out of the way, just in case people are wondering, what am I wearing? But WrestleMania weekend. We are starting year number 2 of the Predictions League. Austin Clark won our first year. It just ended at the last AEW pay-per-view. And so he's going to get his mini championship belt to have bragging rights over his dad and everybody else for having the most points for the past year. But we do have a larger title. If you are part of the pro side of things, and $25 is what it costs you to be part of it for the whole year, or you can play for fun and still win prizes throughout the season. We do predictions for WWE, NXT, AEW, and Impact Wrestling. You earn points by just saying who you think is going to win. You get 10 points for a win, 5 points for a no contest, 0 points for a loss. We throw in special 5 points for questions. Like this week, we'll wonder if the Austin appearance on the KO show, is it going to be a match or is it going to just be a brawl? You choose match or brawl, and whatever happens, we'll give you 5 points if you're correct. So that's how you can earn bonus points that way. We also give 5 bonus points for, say, triple threat matches. And a prime example is tonight. The Intercontinental Championship is on the line at SmackDown. Ricochet is defending against Los Lotharios, Humberto, and Angel. Now, just say you end up picking Ricochet to win, but Humberto pins Angel to become the new Intercontinental Champion. You would get 5 points because Ricochet was not part of that decision. So you're not right, you're not wrong, but here's 5 points because, hey, you deserve for picking, and it was sort of a neutral thing. No contest, same thing. We'll do that. But it is a huge weekend. Like I said, the Intercontinental title is on the line later on tonight. There's also the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. No longer part of WrestleMania, the second year in a row that is off the main card and is been part of WrestleMania SmackDown. We'll see who ends up picking up the victory there. A lot of lower level guys, and unfortunately Finn Balor is part of that as well. I can see it coming down to Finn Balor, and I do not see... Oh, there he is, Damian Priest. It's going to come down to probably those guys. Third, I would throw in maybe Bobby Roode, but yeah, it's just going to be an effort to get them all on the show or do something this weekend, should I say. Then it's going to be the Hall of Fame. And just quickly look at this. We have Carmello, the man they call Vader, the Steiner brothers, and that's going to be interesting in itself with Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner having a live microphone, considering every time he opens his mouth, he usually has something bad to say about WWE. The Warrior Award is going to Shad Gaspar, who unfortunately gave up his life to save his son's life a couple of years ago when they were swimming, and he was able to get the lifeguards to save his son, but he perished in the end, and he's being honored with the Warrior Award this tonight after SmackDown happens. And of course, headlining the show is The Undertaker, over 30 years with the company, loyal as can be. The second time that Vince McMahon is coming from behind the headset and the monitors and the grill position to actually induct somebody. The last time he did that was with Stone Cold Steve Austin. So there's a lot of people who he really cherishes and is going to honor by inducting The Undertaker. So that's all happening on Friday or today. And so we have Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor. You can hopefully catch other streams, whichever order you want to end up doing it in. And that takes us to tomorrow at noon. It is NXT Stand and Deliver. That's the first time that they've been out of the Performance Center in a couple of years since the pandemic happened. And this is going to be a huge opportunity to perform in front of fans, more so than just the regular ones that show up at the Performance Center. There are, 7 great matches? 7 happening tomorrow. And one of those includes, formerly known as Walter, Gunther taking on LA Knight. A lot of jaw-jacking going on there. Gunther has Imperium by his side, but they're also going to be tied up with defending their tag team titles. I do think, unfortunately, LA Knight is going to be overwhelmed by Gunther and pick up the loss there. Gunther for the win. Then we've been seeing qualifying matches for the last little while. Carmello Hayes has decided to put up his North American Championship in a ladder match, and there was qualifying over the last couple of weeks, and we're going to see Grayson Waller, Solo Sikoa, Cameron Grimes, and Santos Escobar competing in the Fatal 5-Way. It's going to be for the ladder match. And I don't know. I don't see the title changing because Trick Williams is going to be there, but there's so many different aspects to this. You can go with Solo Sikoa, but I don't know. I'm going to go with Grimes. Cameron Grimes is going to be the new North American champion. It just needs that oomph, momentum, I think. And call me crazy, but I'm going with Cameron Grimes for that one. Then we have also, no, I don't have the picture up here. Tommaso Ciampa against Tony D'Angelo. It looked like Tommaso was about to step away from NXT. He's been the locker room leader. He's been a solid base for NXT over the last while, but it looks like his time with them is up. And before he could step away, D'Angelo attacked him from behind. And we're going to see what the godfather of NXT, Tommaso Ciampa, can do against Tony D'Angelo. I'd like to say Ciampa gets the victory, But I think this is where he passes the torch to somebody like Tony D'Angelo. Does this mean he's done totally with WWE and NXT, or is he going up to the main roster? I'm not sure. But he's going to, I think Ciampa is going to put over D'Angelo. D'Angelo picks up the victory. He gives him somewhat of seal of approval, pass the torch type deal. D'Angelo leaves, and Ciampa gets his moment in the spotlight before leaving, and the next match happens. So that's where I think that was going to go. The tag team titles are also online. Kind of wonkiness going on here. There was supposed to be a match with the Creed brothers against Imperium, but then they got jumped, and then MSK ended up in there, and all hell broke loose. Now it's a triple threat match with Imperium defending against MSK and the Creed brothers. And I think this is where the Creed brothers actually get the titles. They want to push the new breed going on in NXT and get them some notice. And this is how you do it, with the Creed brothers picking up the victory and being the new NXT Tag Team Champions. The tag team titles for the women were supposed to be defended against the winners of the Dusty Rhodes Classic, but I'll get to that in just a couple minutes. But instead, Dakota Kai still wanted to get the titles. They got rid of Wendy. She was sleeping, I guess, and Dakota got beat up by Toxic Attraction, and out came Raquel Gonzalez to end up saving her former friend, and they reunited, and they're back on the same page, I guess. And so Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai are going to challenge Toxic Attraction for the tag team titles. I think we see another title change here. This is going to be a chance to just gauge what the fans are thinking. Toxic Attraction can get the titles back at any time, and that will happen probably. But I think a feel-good moment will be also for Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez to get the titles. Now, as I said, the winners of the Dusty Cup were supposed to go against, presumably, Toxic Attraction. Instead, they decided not to go for that title and threw themselves into the women's title match, and that was Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray. Io Shirai, longtime NXT champion. Kaylee Ray, longtime NXT UK champion. And so they won the Dusty Cup, and they're challenging Mandy Rose, but she was already being challenged by Cora Jade, who is the new girl on the block, and 19 years old, skater girl, wanting to prove herself, and has gotten under Mandy Rose's skin. I think Mandy Rose is going to escape this with the title in hand, even though Cora Jade is got a lot of momentum on her side. The other two have momentum. Toxic Attraction are going to be a major factor in that win, and that's how Mandy is going to retain her title. And the main event, we knew Bron Breakker should have been defending the title, and it looked like it was going to be Tommaso Ciampa against him because he wanted Goldie back. But, the show-off, Dolph Ziggler ended up making his way to NXT, won one title that he's never had before, and one thing led to another, and at Roadblock we saw Dolph Ziggler take the title in a three-way match with Tommaso Ciampa and Bron Breakker. Now, Bron has a chance to get back his championship, and I see him being a two-time NXT champion, even though Bobby Roode possibly will show up. His uncle and father are being inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight, which is the Steiner brothers. And I could see at least Rick, if not Scott, show up tomorrow during Stand and Deliver to at least be a roadblock for Roode interfering and allow Bron to get a fair match against Ziggler, take the title, and Ziggler basically helps put Bron Breakker over. So that's what I'm looking at for tomorrow. Starts at noon on the WWE Network. Oh, it says 1 o'clock. Actually, 1 o'clock. There we go. Gunther over LA Knight. I see Cameron Grimes becoming the new North American champion. New tag team champions in the Creed brothers. New tag team champions in Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Still champion, she won't be the one losing her belt, will be Mandy Rose. And new champion, two-time NXT champion, Bron Breakker. So you can check that all out on the WWE Network. Then you can take a little bit of a break and come back for WrestleMania. The night number 1 has a 2-hour kickoff show starting at 6 o'clock with the main show starting at 8. It's in Dallas, and we have 7 matches plus a talking segment on the line for tomorrow evening. And it's rumored to be starting off with the Raw Women's Championship, and you have Becky Lynch defending against former champion Bianca Belair. They just brought out scissors the other day on Raw, and Becky ended up getting her hair cut instead of Bianca, as Becky tried to cut Bianca's hair. I can see Bianca taking the title and driving Becky even more over the top because she has not lost the title in 3 years. Of course, she was off for her paternity time and giving birth to Rue, but she still is not lost the championship, regardless of how you look at it, and did that wonky exchange with Charlotte Flair. So you get Bianca to take the title and drives her even more crazy. And I think at WrestleMania Backlash, we're going to see hair versus title, where if Becky does not get the title back, she's going to lose her hair. And that's going to be a crazy stipulation, but I see it happening. But to do that and drive her insane, we need to have Bianca get the title. So I'm going Bianca Belair with the belt. Now, this is an easy one to go with because there's been dissension looking for Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin, with Moss being on the downside of the jokes and not getting over. And, of course, they just stole the sword, but that doesn't matter. Drew McIntyre, in a quick match, is going to win. Tag team match. There's a bunch of them on tomorrow night. And this one involves a celebrity, with Logan Paul teaming up with The Miz to take on the father-son combination of the Mysterios, the only father-son tag team champions in WWE history. I've been predicting for a while that Dominic needs to do something, turn on his dad, and just have something going on for him. They've threatened to do the 619 on Logan Paul. I think they're going to get that on him, but The Miz will then sneak in, get the victory, and that's where Dominic is going to snap and take it out on his dad, feeling that his dad has been holding him back for all this time. And you can see WrestleMania Backlash with father versus son reluctantly happening at that pay-per-view. So I'm picking The Miz and Logan Paul to pick up the victory. Over here, it was supposed to be a 6-man tag, but unfortunately, Ridge Holland tossed Big E, and he landed on his neck, breaking it. Thankfully, not life-threatening, but he's going to be out for a while. Big E obviously will be. And so instead of it being the New Day against Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch, which we all know is Pete Dunne, it's going to be New Day, Woods, and Kingston against Ridge Holland and Sheamus with Butch in their corner. I think the heels are going to pick up the victory in this one. Just New Day doesn't really need the victory, and this will help cement the, what I want to call Fight Night guys a little bit better. So that's what's going on there. The tag team titles for SmackDown will be on the line, and you have Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs challenging the Usos, the longest reigning tag team champions in current history. I don't see the titles changing. They need to keep the bloodline strong, and maybe something else will come up for Boogs and Nakamura, but the Usos are going to retain. 2 more matches on the card for tomorrow include Seth Rollins, who apparently just needed to ask Vince for a title match instead of trying to jump through all these hoops and failing, or just a WrestleMania match for that matter, and failing. Vince is going to give him his own main event guy. Now, there's a lot of rumor rampant that Cody Rhodes is going to be that person filling it. It was originally supposed to be Shane McMahon, and Shane McMahon is supposed to be back tonight in WWE, probably sitting just front row for the Hall of Fame. But there's a possibility you could do that. Throw Shane in there, back to their regular plans. Cody could end up not even showing up at WrestleMania or doing something else, maybe making his return at WrestleMania Raw the night after. Always has big returns, usually happening then. I still think it's going to be Cody, and we'll pick up the victory over a frustrated Seth Rollins, and we'll continue that feud building, and Cody just being put into a major program with Seth Rollins. I don't see it going any other way. However, you do have a chance to get some bonus points with that one, telling me if it's going to be Shane, Cody, or somebody else. And if it's somebody else or somebody you pick, then you're going to get 5 points on that one. Now, this is supposed to be the closer, and the Royal Rumble winner, Ronda Rousey, challenging Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I do see a new champion happening here. They're going to build up Ronda for the next year and probably have her against Becky next year at WrestleMania 29, unless somehow Bianca Belair ends up in that position. But it's probably supposed to be Becky going with that. Now, I say that it was supposed to be the main event because I'm now hearing other things that this is the main event, and it's the KO show. Kevin Owens has been insulting Texas, Dallas, and everything else, rednecks, and called out Steve Austin. And after 19 years, Steve Austin is ready to step back between the ropes, and he says he's ready to give KO a ass whooping. Now, there's speculation whether it's going to be a match or if it's just going to be a brawl. I think it's the testing ground to see if Steve Austin can do more, because he's in his 50s. He's been away for 19 years. I think 19 years, 2 days ago was WrestleMania 19. And yeah, that's going to be a huge test, and see if he can do anything else. This I see being a brawl and ending with a beer bash. Regardless of how it goes, Steve Austin will probably have the biggest ovation of the night, if not the weekend, when he's a part of the KO show. So looking quickly back at tomorrow evening's program, I have Bianca Belair beating Becky Lynch. Drew McIntyre defeating Happy Corbin. The combo of Miz and Logan Paul taking out the Mysterios, and possibly some shenanigans afterwards. Another heel victory here with Sheamus and Ridge Holland defeating the New Day, which will get involved. The Bloodline, the Usos, retaining their tag team titles over Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura. A returning Cody Rhodes, who's been seen at the hotel, defeating Seth Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins, the architect, and Ronda Rousey taking the SmackDown Women's title from Charlotte Flair, and KO getting a stunner and some beer poured on him, courtesy of the Raging Redneck, Stone Cold Steve Austin. So that's all tomorrow night. night number 1 with NXT at 1 o'clock and night number 1 of WrestleMania at 6 o'clock pre-show, 8 o'clock main show. And the weekend wraps up with WrestleMania Night 2. They've been feuding since before the Royal Rumble, and it will be Sami Zayn going against Johnny Knoxville in an anything goes match. I think they're going to have some fun with other Jackass members. Unfortunately, this is the one where the celebrity will also come out on top, and Sami Zayn will be losing, maybe find some seriousness to himself after the fact, but Johnny Knoxville for the victory here. In his third match in wrestling, first WrestleMania match, we have Pat McAfee going against Austin Theory, who was selected by Mr. McMahon to go against McAfee. This could go either way. I do see it's such a really weird match because Austin Theory needs the victory. Pat McAfee looks bad if he loses, even though he's a commentator, but we've seen him against Adam Cole. So I am going to go with Pat McAfee for the victory. They got to shut up Austin Theory somehow. He's just been a little bit of a brat, poking McAfee, and it'll be a feel-good moment in that regard. The tag team titles are on the line from Raw with the Street Profits and Alpha Academy challenging Rated RK Bro for the Raw tag team titles. They just got the belts back. I can see RK Bro retaining, but we're going to see probably the solidification of the heel turn of the Street Profits. They've been kind of hinting at it for the last little while, and this is probably when it's going to happen. Omos is going to go against Lashley. Lashley was finally able to knock the big man off his feet. I think the challenge should have been more of like a body slam challenge like Andre and Big John Studd from WrestleMania 1. I don't know what they do if Omos ends up losing, but you can't have Bobby Lashley coming back to end up losing as well. But he doesn't look like he has MVP by his side. I am going to go with Lashley getting the victory over the big man and finally giving Omos a loss. The women's tag team titles are on the line as Queen Zelina and Carmella defend against Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, Sasha Banks and Naomi, and Natalya with Shayna Baszler as her tag team partner. These are all just Frankenstein tag teams going on. I feel bad for Sasha Banks being a part of this. Rhea Ripley's kind of gone down on my list as well. I do see new tag team champions, but yeah, it might as well just be Naomi and Sasha for a little bit to do a layover. I want to see Shayna Baszler be a challenger for the SmackDown Women's title, which would end up being against Ronda Rousey. So I'm going to go with new champs with Sasha and Naomi. Many years in the making, Edge against AJ Styles. They've never battled each other. Edge was on top of his game while AJ Styles was in Japan and over in TNA. And then he retired, and Edge finally came back 2 years ago. AJ's been there. This is now his 6th WrestleMania. I think AJ will pick up the victory from a heel Edge. And, of course, the main event, title for title, winner take all, Universal Champion Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the bloodline, against the beast, Brock Lesnar. Now, I think they need to keep Roman strong. Brock is not going to be around long. Roman will go back and forth between both brands because there'll only be one champion for a little while until they split off the title. So that's why I'm picking Roman to stay strong. And if they're able to still pull off the dream match of The Rock being able to be at WrestleMania next year where it's in LA, then you have that setup going on with Roman remaining strong. So Roman Reigns picking up the victory. Once again, quick picks here. Johnny Knoxville over Sami Zayn. Pat McAfee over Austin Theory. Still tag team champions, RK Bro. Omos losing to Bobby Lashley. New women's tag team champions in Sasha Banks and Naomi. AJ Styles with the victory. And Roman Reigns being the champion of all champions. It all happens tomorrow night, Sunday night, tomorrow, Saturday. And that starts at 8 p.m. with a 6 p.m. kickoff show. And we'll see what happens by the time everything settles and if we'll see The Rock or anybody else. Go to our website, scumbagswrestling.ca, to sign up. Send us your picks for all these matches, and you can start collecting your points towards our championship. Remember, it's 10 points for a win, 5 for a no contest, and 0 points for a loss. We are sponsored by CoolBet. Stay cool, bet responsibly, and we thank them for everything they do. And you can join us for other events from WWE, NXT, AEW, and Impact Wrestling. But it all starts tomorrow with our triple threat NXT TakeOver or Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania Night 1, and then Sunday, WrestleMania Night 2. So join us and have fun, get your bragging rights, invite your friends, and we'll have a great year in year number 2 of the Scumbags Prediction League. So until next time, have a great evening. Enjoy SmackDown. It's coming up in about 25 minutes. Battle Royal and the Intercontinental Championship on the line, followed by The Undertaker taking his rightful spot in the WWE Hall of Fame, along with the Steiner brothers, Carmello, and the man they call Vader. Have a good one.